Hey everybody, Faro here with League Top 10, and this week I have the privilege of presenting my new favorite champion and the League's newest hottie, Nidalee the Bestial Huntress. Nidalee gets the privilege of having 8 abilities instead of the usual 5. Nidalee also gets to alternate between a ranged and a melee champion at will once she hits level 6. Needless to say, it's incredibly useful. Anyway, enough of the buttering up. Let's get straight to the skills because she has some really nice ones. Your passive is very simple but very effective at what it does. It's called Prowl, and it gives you a 30% movement speed increase for 2 seconds after you've touched brush. This is really good for getting to your lane or for chasing. Your Q ability is called Javelin Toss, and it is amazing. Javelin Toss is a skill shot that does a normal nuke's worth of damage at an obscene range. Now maybe that's not enough for you. Maybe you're not impressed by hitting your opponent from half a screen away. Well, then you should be impressed by its amazing AP scaling, roughly 30%, and that the farther you are away from your target, the more damage they take, capping at 250%. Perfecting your use of this ability is crucial to becoming even a competent Huntress. You can use it to dominate your lane, you can use it to get a quick nuke off during initiation. I mean, you can even hit runners in the back of their head and get a kill. It does take a little bit of getting used to, and I recommend everyone take some time to try it, because this is definitely one of Nidalee's bread and butters. Your W ability is one of her more powerful skills, Bushwhack. Bushwhack sets a trap down in front of you with a pretty generous range and a rather small set time. If the trap is popped, it puts a small dot in an AoE around its location, greatly reduces the magic resist and armor of anyone who's hit by it, and gives you full visibility of all those afflicted for 12 seconds. These traps don't stack, and they are fully visible to both teams. Because of the quick set time, you can actually lay these right on top of someone while in combat for a quick advantage. You can use them to push the creep waves, you can use them to scout the map, but it's worth noting that they blow up if they're placed on top of a Teemo mushroom and don't affect the mushroom. Your E ability is Primal Surge, which gives your target a sizable heal with decent AP scaling, and gives them a solid bump in attack speed for about 4 seconds. It's got a medium cooldown, and it really fills out her role for a babysitter. Your ultimate, Aspect of the Cougar, lets you become a cougar. This has no mana cost and has roughly an 8-second cooldown that really only kicks in if you shift into cat, then back to human, and then you want to go back into cat. As a cat, you gain a small amount of dodge and run speed, your Q, W, and E all change, and your auto attacks become melee. It's worth noting that because of the size of the cat and the walk animation, you will feel a lot slower than you actually are. Now that you're in cougar form, I guess I have to go back and explain all of the new abilities. So let's get this started with your Q ability, Takedown. Takedown applies an effect much like Sheen in that it affects your next auto attack and is not an instant ability. The bonus damage provided by Takedown increases based on how low your opponent's HP is. So it's more effective to use Takedown as a closer than an opener, but has a really low cooldown and is really, really good when it crits. Oh, and I almost forgot that Takedown's damage applies to both towers and inhibitors. Your Bushwhack ability becomes Pounce, and Pounce is one of the best mobility abilities in the game next to maybe Deceive and Gate. Pounce is a 3-second cooldown, short-range leap that just pushes your character forward in the direction the cat is currently facing. The ability does damage and has a decent AP scaling, and it's amazing when you're chasing someone through the woods. You can actually use it to leap over really thin walls, but the walls have to be so thin that it's almost not worth mentioning. Alright, so your new E ability is Swipe, and Swipe is a frontal cone AoE that deals damage based on how many ranks in your ultimate you have. It starts at 155 at rank 1, goes to 255 at rank 2, and it has a solid amount of AP scaling. I believe it's 30% like Javelin Toss. And no, I did not misspeak. swipe, like pounce, like takedown, all receive their base ranks from your ultimate and not from their respective keybinds. It's a little bit weird to deal with, but it makes taking your R every single time worth it. This is the part where I usually throw up my little hand wavy disclaimers and let you know that this is a preview, so I can't really tell you how to build her. But I should say that Sheen as an early game item is completely obscene. She's become my new favorite one-on-one hero and has dominated everyone I've played against. Having lost the Nidalee mirror to someone who rushed Trinity Force, where I bought smaller tier items and then built up to Trinity Force, I can go ahead and say that Trinity Force is an amazing item for Nidalee. And her recommended item build, while some people are going to argue that a support build is superior and the AP is really a lot of fun, the recommended item build will really work out well for you. If you want to build her as a carry and you drop Bloodthirster from it, you're going to be golden. As far as skill build goes, once again, this is only a recommendation, it's not a guide, it's not set in stone, but I feel confident enough to say that you should max Javelin for the sake of it being awesome. You should pick up 1 rank in your W for having Pounce when you go into cap form, and you should secondary max Primal Surge for the heal. I don't want to say if you're not building it like this you're wrong, but it is a really, really good build for the laning phase, and then transitioning into a carry about level 10 or 11, mid-game-ish is usually when she really starts to shine in cap form. Now the reason for the build is pretty simple. Javelin is ridiculous at denying XP, at harassing your opponent. Your W is really, really good late game because it reduces a percentage of their armor and their magic resist. But early game reducing a percentage isn't really beneficial because you can't take it negative like Soraka can, because you can never take a percentage of something to make it go below 0. And reducing small amounts of magic resistant armor isn't ridiculously helpful. You want to use this to reduce large amounts of armor, large amounts of magic resist. You toss it on a tank, you're going to watch them drop like nothing else in this game. Anyway, ranting a little bit. The obvious flaw with building her like a carry is that she's really squishy when she's in cap form. She doesn't have the survivability of range. She doesn't really have a lot of base HP. So a lot of people I see build her, AP, build her support. They use the Javelin to harass, they use the heal to toss on actual carries. And that works out really, really well for them. But I haven't been able to find a build good enough to advertise about. So do me a favor and let me know what you found that works. Thanks for watching, and remember, unlike Udyr, people are actually going to quit Champion Select because they want Nidalee.